Forget your poor brother and elope with me, Lady DuPont. Come to your senses, Second Rockefeller. You heard the messenger. There is no Lady DuPont. That nobility, elegance, intelligence, everything you loved about me is but dust in the wind. I am not worthy to be your wife. Not yours, nor your brother's. I'd still love you, even without the DuPont name. It was your brother, the dead man, who had been using you all this time. You're an innocent victim in all this deception. Don't blame yourself. But the reception hall is filled with guests come to pay their respects. The name DuPont may be an illusion, but it would not be appropriate for me to leave this house right in front of them. Don't worry, my love. I know a way to leave this manor now, and be free of these family conflicts forever. How? Have you forgotten? I'm a soldier. Look. This is... I made this wire from materials I found in the storage room. It will take us from this balcony, across the garden, and into the forest behind the manor. Come with me to a place where wealth and status don't matter. Oh, my dear soldier, your methods are so crude. What if your pulley gets stuck? We would be hanging in the air for hours until somebody finds us. Or the rope could snap, sending us plummeting into the forests. Trust me, it's very safe. I would never let any harm come to you. Is it? I think I'm going to fall. No! Hanging wires, pulleys, falling. Somebody just fell! Call the ambulance now! There's blood everywhere! Don't just stand there! Shelly! She feels a chill run up her spine. She cannot move even her fingers. The sound of fraying cords pulls at her nerves. What on Terra happened? An accident caused by an aging wire rig? And the case is closed just like that? Somebody died! No, the two accidents were not alike. Dalton died from a stab wound, while the actress from 5 years ago died from a fall. She hears that ominous sound again. Where is it coming from? Shelly? Shelly! Get away from there! The container's about to fall! Fall? Shelly looks up in a daze. The container hanging in mid-air is coming closer and closer, as though she is the one hanging in mid-air and she is about to fall. As it fills her vision, a shadow appears next to her, and a pair of strong hands grabs her by the shoulder. Shelly feels the world spin. By the time she comes to her senses, she is standing on the other side of the set, safe and sound. Lucien, thank you. You can let go now. Oh, sorry. Not you. Moira, yes? You can let go now. All right. Only then does Shelly see the small frame of the prop master, grabbing the rope connected to the container with all her might, her arms trembling and her face red. Only when Lucien repeats his words does she slowly release it. You're too on edge. It's my job as prop master. What happened? We should be asking you that. Sure, these containers are getting old, and need to be checked to ensure the ropes don't get loose, but... Are you out of your mind? Not only did you interrupt the shot by screaming out of nowhere, you didn't even budge when that thing was about to fall on you. What could have spooked you like that? Is this your first time seeing a wire rig or what? No, seeing Melanie and Michael brought back memories of that fall 5 years ago. Go take a break, Shelley. You're getting in the way of the shooting. No, I mean, I was just spooked by that mysterious black creature running around over there. Sorry. Please continue. You know, Shelley's not half bad looking, but she's always so jumpy, and it makes me uneasy. A shame the scene was interrupted. I was just getting into my role. Getting into your role? You ought to be thanking her for interrupting that take, because I was about to chew your head off. Your delivery, your posture, your expressions. We've been at this for 2 months, and you've shown no sign of improvement. That rookie could act circles around you on his first day in front of a camera. I thought I told you to keep your private life off the set. It would seem Greta was wrong about you. It was a mistake to give the leading role to a pretty boy who gets cast from the color of his ears alone. All 3 different roles in the same film, no less. You're right. Why the sudden modesty? Normally, you'd be coming up with all sorts of flippant excuses by now. I was just thinking about poor Dalton. I don't have anywhere near your experience, and Shelley's close call just now has left me a little shaken. Be professional. Accidents, failures, bad reviews. You'll never make it in Rankwood if you let little things like that affect you. I could learn a lot from you in that regard. I heard you were standing right behind Marianne when she swept the Rankwood Awards with a film completed in just 28 days. And that after coming home empty-handed and being ridiculed by the press, you went back to the set the very same day to continue shooting. I'd have quit ages ago if I had to compete with a superstar like that. And what's that supposed to mean? Oh. No. I didn't mean it like that. You've just been so calm in the face of Dalton's death, and I wanted to know your secret. That's all, I swear. Secret? There's no secret. It's only because I didn't know him that well, and had nothing to do with his accident. You, though. Why is his death affecting you so much? Were you involved in it? Could it all be a coincidence? Am I just imagining things? Should I see a psychiatrist? You shouldn't use Miss Christine as an excuse. Who's there? She wasn't where you said she was, and wouldn't have run around in a way that would disturb you. Please apologize to her on my behalf. I will. What is it you're so afraid of? What I'm not afraid of after that incident on set 5 years ago. I know that look. Curiosity. I mean, I can tell you, it's not exactly a secret. You could just find out with a little digging. Her name was Laura. She was a rookie actress in Rankwood who caught Greta's eye. Extremely passionate about her work, but knew nothing about the unspoken rules of the business. Dalton was already an alcoholic at the time, but he was still a big name. He decided to put her in her place by adding extra scenes that kept her in a wire rig for 6-7 hours. Until the wires broke, and she fell to her death. The way the blood spread out from under her, it was just like what happened to Dalton. Lucien looks at Shelley's arm. There are marks of self-harm all over it, signs of the impact the incident has had on her. Shelley puts down her sleeves. her face filled with anxiety. But I can take care of my own problems. You're underestimating those problems. This will only become more frequent. At first, only similar sounds would trigger the hallucinations. But now, even the sound of a chair being dragged can take you back into the past. Gee, thanks for the concern, Dr. Lucian. I've dealt with these wicked voices in my head for 5 years. I know them better than anyone. All I can do is outtrace them. Do as much as I can before fear and irrationality take over. Maybe Dalton's death really was just an accident. But either way, I have to eliminate any possible risk, any possible threat, to prevent that incident 5 years ago from happening all over again. Even if the threat is coming from the film crew itself. There's something else you're concerned about. Greta's hiding something. We share an office. I saw a strange document on her desk before the plate left Central Rankwood. She stopped me when I was about to open it. The riddles just keep piling up, but everyone I know who was back then and went through the same thing would rather not bring it up. No way can we talk about this with each other openly. And now, I'm being constantly interrupted by these voices and hallucinations. Pain can mitigate them. What did you say? I said pain. It won't rid you of your anxiety or panic attacks, but it will give you time to breathe, to do what you really want to do, and solve the unsolved mysteries. The voices and shadows hide in tiny corners, impeding and distracting you as you try to find yourself. Pain is one form of resistance, though fingernails alone may not be enough. The tip of a pen, or a knife. With the proper application of force, any sharp object can be of help. The tongue, the back of the hand, the top of the thigh. Those areas are more sensitive to pain. You're a weird guy, you know that? But you sound like you know what you're talking about with the hallucinations. Have you ever had to calm yourself like that? Who are you? Pain is a form of mitigation. Strange whispers, strange sights. Except, unlike Shelley, the problem he faces is not the fear of these things, but the desire for them. Lucian hasn't returned the Originium phonograph yet? Nope. He must be anxious. Didn't Whiteflower say he's had trouble sleeping? Too much superficiality in his ecstasy and anguish. He doesn't understand more complex, more extreme emotions. It limits his performances. But he's young. Why the rush? It's been 6 or 7 years since Lucian joined. With his beautiful voice, he was considered a rising star at first, and the leader instructed him personally. But he's hit a wall now that he's finally in a lead role. Listening to those records won't solve anything. Emotions are an actor's weapons. The first step is to understand them. Master said your ecstasy and anguish are merely superficial. That imitation will only compromise your perception of more complex emotions. But how? Despair. True despair will cost you what you hold most dear, yet at the same time open a new door. You will listen to the whispers you have never listened to, witness everything you have never witnessed, and understand all the emotions that you never understood. You shall become drama itself, mirror of all things. Like this. Lucian destroyed his own voice. Originium pours into the wound, and he is inundated in pain and despair. Blood. Ugh. It's all right, Lucian. I'm here. What happened? So, this is... Did you do this to yourself, Lucian? Do you remember my last performance? Or rather, assassination? I failed. They called me a pathetic coward. I'm no longer a favored son of the arts. I don't care about being isolated or scorned, because my heart has already left the troupe after that performance. But I stayed, because we came from the same place. Because we're friends. You promised you wouldn't be like them. Master was right. No. I'm scared of this troupe and of who you are now. In any case, it will be even more effective than you expect. I just hope I never need to use that trick of yours. It is late at night. Muffled sounds and suppressed screams can be heard from the prop room, which should be empty at this hour. In a dark corner, the faceless faces of mannequins are illuminated by flashing lights. Tippy cowers into a sofa, hugging a cushion tightly. The knife-wielding killer laughs maniacally, whose blade reflecting the bright white lights. In the very next instant... Ah! Ugh! What a classic! That one's one of my favorites. It might be a small-budget production from 30 years ago, but it stands up perfectly well to today's films. Phew. Watching horror movies really does help let off steam. I feel better already. Thanks for the invitation, Tip. Like, doesn't it feel better to just scream it all out? I know you didn't mean to interrupt the shoot. You were just on edge. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's solved my issues, but at least I can forget about them for tonight. What are we watching next? I've got everything. Horror night has just begun. Hey, why so serious, Molly? You didn't like the movie? I was just thinking. That knife looked a little too thin. I think it would have more impact with a more intricate design, like blood grooves on the sides of the blade. All work and no play makes Molly a dull girl. Turn off that work brain already. You've been spending too much time with Shelly. Hey there, mystery lady. What you doing here? The beautiful creature gets between the two girls, stretches, and sits in front of the sofa. Clever girl. Looks like she really likes us, Molly. You want to watch a movie together? But it'll be scary, so don't say I didn't warn ya. Whose terminal was that? Molly? Not mine. Sorry, I've got to go. Did that say Moira and I read Molly? She looked really pale. Do you think Miss Stone is still pissed about her about what happened today? Let's try to be there for her tomorrow, too. She looks really tired. Yeah. Alright, fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna be a bumpy movie night. This one won Best Design. The background, props, and weapons are all really cool. The screen lights begin flashing again, immersing the two girls in another horror story. Neither of them notice that Miss Christine is nowhere to be seen. Oh, Shelly? I thought you were watching movies with Tip. What's the rush? The overly friendly man notices that Shelly is clutching her terminal in her right hand. Ah, I see. A sudden invitation to a date? Well, try not to look so grim when you're there. I'm sure he'd rather see a smile. It's none of your business. Your lips are trembling. You're cold. Or maybe afraid? You poor thing. You're still shaken about Dalton's accident, aren't you? Just like me. Don't worry. With you as coordinator, I'm sure everything will go just fine. Come on, let me give you a hug. You could use the warmth. What do you mean, just like me? I couldn't hear an ounce of fear in that trashy pickup line. Have you completely forgotten what happened 5 years ago? Well, I haven't, because I'm not heartless like you. Don't forget, you're not free from blame from that accident either. The light abruptly turns on in the office on the second floor. On one desk, the papers are tidily filed away in folders with hardly any signs of use. On the other, notices are scattered all over, covered in editing marks as though the writer is troubled by something. A tall figure surges around the desks, making not a single sound with his lithe and nimble motions. Here. The shredder has been used recently. Lucien opens the waste bin and picks up several strips of shredded paper that feel different from the others. Different from the printing paper normally used by the film crew. Trimonts University. Environmental Monitoring. Signed, Greta. The unusual document that Shelley mentioned. He feels a slight push on his shoulder, seemingly an affirmation, but there is no one else in the room. Welcome back, Miss Christine. You've been taking more walks lately. Did something here catch your eye? This place is more interesting than expected. Indeed. I've discovered something unexpected myself. Don't overthink this, Shelley. You're only here to see who's playing this sick joke. You saw that number become invalid with your own eyes. It can't be. Shelley tries her best to calm down. The fear and anxiety she had briefly forgotten while watching the horror movie now takes over again. Go to the warehouse and atone for your sins. The terminal screen glows in the quiet warehouse, showing the name of the sender. A name that is familiar, yet impossible. Laura. Who's there? Stop playing games! I know I'm not hearing things this time. What the hell do you want from me? What do you know? There is no answer. Darkness swallows all sound in the old warehouse. She hears the tiny buzzing of electricity. A light suddenly comes on above the distant shelf. As eerie as it is enticing, Shelley cannot help but walk toward it. Shelley. Laura, is that you? Once again, Shelley starts trembling. She cannot tell if the sound came from deep within the warehouse or from inside her own head. She walks forward in a daze. It is as if she has returned to that set 5 years ago, where the tragedy occurred. Shelley, I just got another scene and I need the wire rig. Can you prepare it for me? Arrogant, cocky, proud. How dare you? A fresh face in Rankwood. Mr. Dalton said the director signed off on it. Dalton, still a star at the time, wanted to teach you a lesson. But you thought he was helping you. Are you happy with how it turned out? Is he not here yet? I've spent hours up in this rig. My knees and elbows are probably bleeding by now. Can you please ask them for me, Shelley? I'm not just a coordinator. All I can do is prepare the equipment and the rig. Make sure they're safe. Well, did you? Shelley arrives before the shelf. The light shines upon a black dust bag. She knows what is inside. Don't open it, Shelley. Don't. Inside is an old wire rig set. The hook and tether are badly worn, and the harness is frayed. There are dark spots on the black cloth. Laura's blood. No, you can't possibly know. You're just a hallucination. You can't be alive. Right, Pain. I brought a pen. Ugh. How pathetic. Why are you still there? Why didn't it work? Was the incident 5 years ago an accident or a murder? An accident. It was an accident! It was a tragic accident that only happened because Dalton held a grudge against you. Then why didn't you check my rig? Why? Because I hated you! I hated your selfishness and arrogance. I hated that you made a mess of the shooting schedule and affected everyone with your unreasonable demands. I was happy when Dalton decided to teach you a lesson. I was checking the wire rig as usual and noticed it was due for replacement. Then, a little thought crossed my mind. What if an accident happened and you were gone forever? Wouldn't that be even better? Still in a trance, a hand pushes Shelley over. She hears the sound of coolant flowing through the pipes and frost cracking beneath her. She realizes that she had stumbled into the cold storage at the end of the warehouse. But what can she do? Bang on the door? Shout? She has no strength left to struggle. The fear is gone. She feels completely relaxed. Death has answered all her questions.